Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be. Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal podcast. Bonus edition, because last week we said we were done. But we got a new manager. We've got a new manager at last. It's not signed, sealed and delivered yet. Well, it is really, isn't it? The Ornstein has spoken. But it looks like it's Emery. Can anyone tell me how you actually pronounce his first name, Harry?
Unai, I believe.
Unai?
Unai.
Unai. Oh, I don't know what I feel like now about him being our manager. Unai. Wow.
Yeah.
He's Turkish, isn't he?
Nah, Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
You saw Mem's tweet.
That's all right. I'm going to have him for that now. I thought because he drew a beard on him, he really was Turkish. Can I have you for that, Mems? Twat. Joining me this evening, Harry, how are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. And congratulations, sir, for making the finals of the FBAs.
Thank you very much.
I hope you had a good night.
We did. We had a great night. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but we had a great night. And it was nice to have a night out to sort of reward ourselves for the hard work over the year.
Yeah. I won't tell everyone what we were talking about.
Yeah, no.
We're not bitter, are we? Let's go and suck on 11.
That's it, yeah. We've got about 5 votes. Yeah. My right-hand man, Mr. Judges, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you very much. All good. I was looking forward to summer off, but obviously the news broke yesterday, so
if I'm putting you out, mate, you can always leave.
No, look, putting me out, it was only Emmerdale on tonight, wasn't it? So I'm happy to be here,
Good. Making his debut on the Same Old Arsenal podcast, a man I've been watching on Arsenal Fan TV for the last few months, and delighted that he's here with us. Turkish, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Just finished work.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, mate. You shall be on more and more and more and more. I like your stuff, mate. I like your stuff. If you're not following Turkish, please do go and follow him on Twitter at Turkish Arsenal. Go and follow him. Thank you very much indeed. Tonight we will be announcing the winner of the Kevin Campbell signed drawing, and we will be announcing the winner of the Arsenal Power Bank. Let's go to Harry first.
Still got it here, Craig. Look, still got it.
Still on the table.
Yeah, still waiting to go. And your one, Harry. And your one. You know what I mean? Still waiting for delivery. You know what I mean? So
let's go to Harry first. Harry, Unai Emery.
Can we call him Dick?
If it's easier, we can. Yes. No, I guess it's not a problem.
For the older fan, they know who that is, but you guys won't know who that is, So carry on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
No problem. Sorry about that.
No problem. Co-host. Co-host. Okay.
I've got to remember my place. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
That's all right. No worries.
Harry, Unai Emery is the new manager of Arsenal Football Club. Your first reaction, sir, please.
First reaction was shock, because it's not somebody who was in the frame, as far as what we knew anyway. And, all the ITKs were adamant that it was Allegri, and then it was Arteta, and then it was a smokescreen for Allegri, and God knows what else. But yeah, my initial reaction was shock. Having thought about it sort of last night and today, I'm actually quite pleased. I think it's a good appointment. Had a little look at his career overall today. I wanted to get a bit more sort of a background on him. He didn't play to a very, very high standard. Second division in Spain, sort of came through at Real Sociedad, but he never really made it there. So he dropped down a division. But he actually comes from a football background, because both his dad and his granddad were footballers, and so was his uncle. So football's been in him sort of throughout. Look, everybody knows about his 3 Europa League wins with Seville. I've heard some people today sort of questioning that, because the league positions that during those seasons weren't particularly great. I think it was 5th, 7th and 5th again. But like I was explaining to somebody earlier, I think we know better than anyone that when you get to a certain point in the season and, you need to adjust your objectives, and they would have been looking at winning the Europa League and probably sacrifice some of their league games as a consequence. So that probably doesn't tell the full story. His style of football is very different. My only concern, shall I say, is that it's going to take him a bit of time to embed his way in, because he likes to play sort of a 4-2-3-1 traditionally, but he's very big on transition, and he likes his team to be able to change during games of football from sort of a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3. And not only that, he's got specific instructions for different phases of play. I read a really interesting tactical analysis on him earlier on today. So it'll be interesting to see how he embeds that, how some of our players respond to it, because as we all know, I don't think any of them have done any tactical work for the last 10 years at least.
Absolutely, mate. What, Turkish, I come to you, mate. What you got to say about these people? I mean, like, I've been on Twitter today and, oh, he ain't good enough, and oh, he finished here and he finished there, and why did PSG let him go, and this, that, and the other. It seems to me the people that were backing Arteta are unhappy that we've got this guy. You know, it's ridiculous.
I just don't get it. Like you said, how can people justify backing a man with no managerial experience over someone who's actually had, yes, he's had ups and downs in his time in Europe. He's had a few more ups than he has had downs. But as someone who's taken over clubs when they've been in an unstable position, and he's added stability to the team. Now, I've always said Wenger going was the start of it. We need a manager now to add stability to this team because there's none there. And I feel we need a manager to add a style of play to this team. So what Harry says about the 4-2-3-1 transition into a 4-3-3, I'm excited to see what's to come. I'm excited to see how Ozil will fit into that after the Ramsey and Aubameyang rumours. So I'm just excited in general. I just don't. It's hard to please Arsenal fans at present. It's very hard. Exciting us, this Wenger leaving, it feels like there's a sour note sometimes. It feels like they're holding on to that. Like whoever's the next person in, there's going to be a huge burden on them to do well, or it's just going to be like, we told you Wenger should have stayed.
Yeah.
In reality, it's not that. In reality, we have to move forward. It was sooner rather than later. And if the next manager doesn't work out, finally the board are fully accountable. There's no one there to protect them. If it is Emery coming in, he has no affiliation to our club. It's not like he's a club captain, like I won't say legend, but a club captain like Arteta, because Arteta is not an Arsenal legend. So I'm hoping that either the next manager is a success, or the failure continues, but the board are held accountable, and the next manager opens everyone's eyes, all our fans' eyes, together, and we can actually unite against one person, two people in Gazidis and Kroenke.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great point, because if Emery does fail, it's definitely the board who have brought this man in, and it will be very interesting to see that if he doesn't turn out to be good for us, then what will happen. Lee, we've been talking during the week, mate. I think we were both settled on it being Arteta, weren't we?
Yeah. I sort of settled for that it was going to be Arteta. Listen, the new fella's come in now, Emery, and he's not my first choice. We all know that I wanted Allegri. I felt that was the one. But listen, from my point of view, not every fan is going to get what they want. So from my point of view, I haven't got what I want, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to throw my toys out. I'm going to back the man, and I'm going to believe what the board have gone through a process, and hopefully it's a good one. What, we've just been saying here, Turkish just said it, you ain't going to please every Arsenal fan, and I imagine that it's hard to please Arsenal fans. I've heard today that people have, slagging him off because he got knocked out of the Champions League. But he won the treble, and then in the same breath, saying he's no Pep Guardiola, who's done exactly, he won the Premiership, but he got knocked out of the Champions League early. He's got all the money in the world. Did he go and win the treble? No. He won 2 trophies, fantastic, and quite rightly so. At the end of the day, PSG are going to go and win the league for the next whenever few years, and to be honest, I go along with that. Somebody said on Twitter today, yeah, but Monaco won the league the following the season before. But did you ever look at the side Monaco had then? They had some bloody good players, you know what I mean? And that was his first season. Pep Guardiola didn't win the league in his first season. Everybody says, "I'll give him a year. He can do this and he can do that." Listen, if he's good enough for PSG and all that money, you know, then at the end of the day, he's good enough for us at this moment in time. And the thing with Seville is that they're not going to compete at the top. You know, it's like, you know, what I like about that is that they're not the best team in Europe. They're not the best team in the league, but he managed to win trophies. So tactically, he must have done something to get those results. So, you know, we're not the best team in the league by a long chalk. You know what I mean? We're the sixth best team in the league. So something's got to change, not just personnel, but in the construction of the team, tactics and all that, for us to get to the next level. So I'm going to back him. I'm quite happy about the appointment. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't have been happy with the Arteta one for the simple reason is that there wasn't the experience. Am I ecstatic about this manager? No, I'm not. I'm not overjoyed or I'm overwhelmed by it. But going back 22 years ago, I wasn't exactly over the moon about Arsene Wenger coming in. You know what I mean?
If we'd have been doing this podcast 22 years ago, we'd have been saying exactly the same as what we're saying about Emery now about Wenger.
Yeah, exactly. And when I look back at that, we was linked with Terry Venables, Johan Cruyff, and I'm thinking, cool, we're going to get one of these in. On the back of a little bit of stale football from what Jules Graham had done, Craig, you know what I mean? So, we you know, Arsene comes in and I'll go back to that 22 years ago. I thought, well, I'll give him a chance, see what he can do. And, you know, well, we all know what happened, you know what I mean? And
revolutionised English football.
Yeah, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to remember that day and I remember this. And look, listen, I'm going to back him. And as Turkish said, you know, get the World Cup over. I'm looking forward to a nice summer, but I'm going to look forward to the first game of the season with a little bit more apprehension and anticipation, whatever, all the things that I've wanted to have as an Arsenal fan. I'm going to go to that first game where, even against Leicester, I know we won 4-3 last season. It was a great game. But when you're walking away from it, same old rubbish, same old crap defence, same old this, same old that. So, you know, let's bring it on. Let's see what happened.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got to admit, I'm buzzing about this appointment. I've obviously reading about his tactical side of the game. That is what is pleasing me the most. We've finally got a manager now that might actually, you know, we go 1-0 down and we're still 1-0 down in the 60th minute. We've actually got a manager that will stand up and say, "All right, what am I going to do here now?" Instead of just sitting back, you know, having a little word to Steve Bold and just letting it play out. Do you know? We might get an equaliser. We might get one. There's no... I just found with Arsene Wenger, there was no tactical... You know, he never gave me confidence that 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 2-1 down. Can Arsene Wenger change the game? I mean, look at that game at Anfield when we were beating Liverpool 4-3. I'll always use this as an example. But yeah, Callum Chambers sitting on a bench, 4-3, last minute, they get a free kick. Yeah. What does he do? Bring on Mikel Arteta. And he's got Callum Chambers sitting on the bench. What do Liverpool do? Throw the ball in the area, gets headed down, bang, 4-4. And we've lost 3 points. Yeah. You know, I mean, who puts some central midfielder in to defend a free kick in the last minute of a game when you've got a centre half sitting on the bench?
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, we've been through all this before, you know, but it's just, you know, I'm just glad now, you know, I love this stuff that I'm reading about him, that he gives all the players USB sticks of all their mistakes and, you know, and don't do that, you know, don't do that again. Make sure you watch this.
Puts a blank one in there and all. So
you heard the old joke of that was on Twitter?
Yeah.
That he hands Mustafi one and he says, "There you go." He says, "There's 12 hours on that of your mistakes." Mustafi says, "Ah," he says, "I caught you out, boss." He says, "I found out about them blank ones." And he goes, "No, there's 12 hours of footage on that." So, you know, I mean, he looks to go really in depth. How in depth Wenger went, I don't know, but I'm actually buzzing about it. I'm really, really happy. Like I said, I was ready for Arteta. I'd kind of closed the book, right? Okay, it's going to be Arteta, and then bang out of nowhere, this fellow is announced, and on we go. So what's next? We'll go back to Harry. What's next? He says he wants to build the team around Aubameyang and Ramsey. Obviously, we hope now that Aaron Ramsey is going to stay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully he does stay, and those are interesting comments. But one of the things that you got to think about now is where does Jack Wilshere fit in if he is indeed to have a future at the club? Because Jack Wilshere, and I've always criticised his fitness and his mobility, and I don't think that Jack Wilshere can play the sort of game that Unai Emery is going to sort of ask of him to be that pressing midfield player. That certainly isn't going to happen. There's room for one sort of more deep lying sort of player who's going to pick up the ball sort of off of your defence, but I don't think Jack Wilshere is going to be the one with him. I don't think he'll be up to his standard, and I think we might see Jack Wilshere leave as a result of it. There's a couple of things as well that we haven't touched on in terms of why Emery is the perfect fit from the board's point of view, because if you look at what he's done in the past, I think Turkish mentioned it, I think you did, that he's always worked under good, sort of under financial restrictions, which is massive because that's what the board are looking for if we're to believe the reports. There is
one team, sorry, Harry, just to cut across you there is one team that he was manager of, Valencia. A lot of people forget he was manager of Valencia, and he had them up in the top 4 of the Spanish league. You know, and this is when they had players like an up-and-coming David Silva, an up-and-coming David.
That's right. You know? And after his first season, they sold David Silva and David Villa in the same summer just to keep the club going.
That's right.
So there's that. And there's also the fact that he's comfortable working under a director of football, because at Sevilla, he worked under Monchi, who's one of the better directors of football, shall we say, who's the more successful. Every manager that's worked under him has always been sort of complimentary. So those are two things as well, you know, that the board would have looked at. And on the other side of the coin, I'm sure sort of the fact that we have a director of football now and Sven Mislintat calling the shots, it would have deterred some of the other candidates. You know, maybe we did speak to Allegri. Maybe that is why Arteta pulled out. And, you know, there's lots of factors. But going back to what you said, because I've drifted a little bit there, about building the team around Ramsey and Aubameyang, that makes perfect sense to me. Because at the moment, when you look at that team, you know, we know Aubameyang's a lethal striker. We know Ramsey's got the energy to sort of help the team out, and we know he can get goals, and we know he needs to be sort of the center of attention. And sometimes, I've said it in the past, him and Ozil together maybe doesn't give us the defensive balance we need. So it'll be interesting to see whether Emery plays both of them or if he picks one over the other. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Quick question, Harry. Ramsey for captain?
Yeah, for me, I don't think there's another option. I think the only other person I would maybe look at is Monreal. But then if you're going to sign up Ramsey on a long-term deal, it makes more sense, because I'm sick of changing captains every 2 years because someone's retiring. So
yeah, I mean, I put a tweet out today that got quite a bit of retweets and likes. I said that the first job that the manager's got to do is make the armband important again.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know, we've had so many great captains through the years. I mean, since I've been supporting Arsenal, it's been Tony Adams, Vieira, Thierry Henry. They were good captains. I mean, Thierry Henry, okay. There's an argument with Thierry Henry, I suppose, but certainly Patrick Vieira and Tony Adams, real captains, real leaders, and I think that's what we're screaming out for. Turkish, what's your opinion on the squad? Can Emery do anything? Do you think he can do with this squad?
Yeah.
Or do you think he's going to bring in new players? I mean, obviously, everyone's going mental over Twitter today talking about Enzonzi coming here because he worked with him in Seville. I would certainly welcome him here. I know a lot of people might laugh or might say, what am I on about? But again, he's another option, especially with this 4-2-3-1 formation that he likes to play.
That's true.
Petr Cech given the #1 shirt.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
Do you reckon he's got? I mean, look, I've always said it. We need a new goalkeeper. We needed a new goalkeeper last season.
Yeah, we do.
Petr Cech is not the Petr Cech that played in goal for Chelsea, and you know, made all those clean sheets, won the leagues, won the cups. It's not the same Petr Cech. It's like Petr Cech's come here just for the final payday. Like, do you know, that's how I feel about him. I feel like Petr Cech's come here like David Beckham went to LA Galaxy, get a few quid. I don't rate him anymore, Turkish. That's what I'm saying. I just don't rate him anymore.
what it is with Czech is, I've said it before, it's similar to you. He only came to us because he wants to stay in London. You don't sign a player because he wants to stay in the area. What passion does he have to come to the club and further on and win things? The main reason he came to the club is because it was convenient for him. Now, with him getting the #1 jersey, the best way I can see it is that him and Ospina are both, they both got a year left. Their contracts run out next year. I think we should sell Ospina this summer. He's been loyal to us. He's been our #2 and he hasn't kicked up a fuss. I think sell him this summer, get a young keeper in with a bit of a name. Let him challenge Czech this season. Who knows? He might have gave Czech the #1 jersey because this is his last season for us and his last season at the top level. That's me looking at it in a positive way, if I'm honest. But I don't expect him to go into the season with both our #1, well, both our keepers with a year left on their contract. Surely we must sell one and sign one up that's young with potential. And I just
sorry to come across you there. What would you say about Matt Macey? I mean, I'm a big admirer of Matt Macey.
Percy, what it is I'm tired of giving players chances now at this club. Like Wenger's exhausted that for me.
Yeah.
I used to agree with Wenger with giving the players chances, especially the early years in the Emirates. I agreed with the financial constraints. Even midway through, let's say 7-8 years ago, I could see maybe the board had a bigger part to play than I first thought. But now I'm just at a stage where I mean, Aubameyang 28, Mkhitaryan is around 27, 28. Who else have we signed recently? Czech being more experienced. Sanchez was 24, 25 when we got him. So I think even Wenger gave up with that sort of mentality. And I think with our keeper and our whole defensive organisation, I think that's an important position for us moving forward. And I miss Szczesny.
Don't say that, Turkish. What have you done? What have you done?
Come on, Szczesny's there replacing the legend that is Buffon, who's telling everyone.
No, you've upset me. I miss him.
And he's the only other player apart from Jack that loved the club. This is my issue as well.
Did you see the interview with him at Juventus when they asked him about leaving Arsenal? He started crying.
Yeah.
I was sitting in front of the telly going, ah.
Did you see his Instagram post when Juventus knocked out Tottenham?
Yeah.
He's a gooner. He's one of us. And Jack is the last player we have like that. And that would be sad to see that go with Jack. I know he hasn't lived up to his potential. I know he isn't the player we thought he would be. And I know injuries have held him back. But he's the only one that loves the club. He's the only one that knows what a North London derby means at the club. He's the only one that knows what a derby means at the club. Everyone else, to me, is very plastic at the club right now. They're just here to get paid. Yeah, so I hope Emery, that's the job he has to do. Ideally, I'd like 6 out. 6 out and 6 in this summer, but it's not going to happen. But that's ideally what I'd like.
A lot of people are saying that we've only got this £50 million budget. And I read a very good piece of writing there from a lad Kinos on Twitter, and he gave kind of the lowdown. 50 million doesn't mean 50 million. What they're saying is we could. What he used the example of, we could bring in 5 players at a total of 160 million, and then we'd have to spend an extra 50 million to pay them. Okay, so the club's expenditure would be an extra 50 million. So we can actually go out and buy players if we want to. So hopefully that, hopefully what he's written is true, and hopefully that comes to fruition. But Lee, how many players, new players, do we need for a real Premier League challenge? Now, I'm not expecting Emery to come here and fireworks. I hope he does, and I hope the fireworks go off early. But I'm not expecting him to challenge the league title this year. What I am expecting is at least top 4. We're back to the old top 4 trophy again, right? I would expect a challenge for top 4 at least. But how many players short of a real Premier League type of challenge are we?
Well, I believe 5. Realistically, we're not going to get 5, but we need 5. We need a new goalkeeper. I think 2 central defenders, a central holding midfield player, and a wide player. That's what we need. But we're not. But as we say, I think that what we have to do this season is make do with, say, checking goal for this season, you know, and try and get through that. Probably we'll only buy 1 central defender instead of 2. Try and work it with the Greek guy.
Mav,
we're calling him Mav. We've got him and Chambers maybe, and Holding. One of them probably go out on loan. I think Holding may go out on loan, but try and work it around that sort of way. Listen, you know, we've been linked with this Seri from Nice. That's not going to happen if Patrick Vieira goes there, because if I was him, I would want to have a year under Patrick Vieira, because just to, you know, as a player, to learn off him for a year, I wouldn't want to go. So that's going to be difficult to get that off and running now. So you know, but realistically, we need a wide player that's going to come in and just, especially on the counter attack, just take on players and use his pace. We've just got none of it. We go inside. I watched the last game against Huddersfield, and you know, Mkhitaryan is a good player, but every time he gets the ball, he comes inside. You know, if it's Ozil, he comes inside. Iwobi comes inside. You know what I mean? Like, and then you've got the only one that really does it, but he's not really a natural that position. I don't want to see him in there. He's a Bangham. He does it, but we want him in as the focal point. I think, like, you know. So you know, we've got an interesting question, which I know. And I thought about it, and people are not going to like my answer to it. Like,
well, let's go for that question, will we? As you've set me up nicely.
Yeah.
The actual question is from Kevin Campbell. So we'll come to you first, Lee. New manager in the door might have to sacrifice 2 big name players. Lee judges, if it was up to you, who would those 2 players be?
Right. And it's going to be, for me, Xhaka as one of those players, and the other one would be Lacazette. And I'll tell you why I'm going to go for Lacazette, because I think that if the system we're going to play, of the one up front, I don't see what one of them is going to have to not play as much, like, you know. And if you can get 50, 60 million for him, it will help us fund in the other areas that we need.
Poor old Lacazette.
No, as harsh as it is, I don't want to see him go. Hopefully we can keep him. But what I'm saying is, if you know, listen, I'm talking to maybe buy the 60, 70 million pound player, wide player. You know what I mean? Somebody like, you know, I'm talking in the category of these sort of player like Malcolm, Gareth Bale, or Lamar, or someone like that. It's going to cost big money. Now, we desperately need a wide player of that ilk more than somebody of a Lacazette. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not criticising the Lacazette thing. You know, I mean, if we can,
I just wasn't expecting that.
No, but I'm saying that, but realistically, where are we going to get big money from, other than you know, like, you know, somebody said we can sell Mustafi. Yeah, we can sell Mustafi. We're not going to get, like, we're going to get 10, 15, 20 million for him. I'm talking big, you know, side of it. I think that we could get 20, 25 million for Xhaka, and save 50 million, 55 million for a Lacazette. We get a 70 million pound player. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I mean, and probably somebody like Madrid, Atletico Madrid, would be interested in going for him. So that's my 2. I know it's a bit controversial, but
no, mate, not at all.
You know, that's what I'm
Turkish. What about you, mate? If you was a manager and the board come to you and said, right, you got to lose 2 big name players, who would they be?
Yeah, this is why I've always, like, Lee's basically said what I would say, but we might be forced. Our hand might be forced regarding Ramsey.
Another good point. That's a good point. Good point.
Keeping Xhaka. The thing with Ramsey is, even with a year left, I'm going to say we can still get 45 mil for him, because if we can get that for Oxlade, we can get that for Ramsey, especially if he stays in England with the homegrown rule. And I just see, Lacazette, again, it's nothing against him. It's just that Wenger signed 2 top strikers in 6 months. We didn't need both of them within 6 months. We needed other areas to fill, and maybe a Mahrez on the wing would do much better than a Lacazette on the wing.
Yeah.
And Martial, even someone that can, that Lee said exactly how I feel, someone that can take on 1-2 players, cut in, cut out, get the final ball in, or just finish it themselves. Mahrez gets 10 a year. Martial can definitely get that. Even if that Dembele and Bellerin rumor is true, maybe I might even say Bellerin's the other big player that we might sacrifice. Because Maitland-Niles did do a good job at right back, even though I don't see his long-term future there, and I don't want to continue this era of playing players in other positions.
Yeah.
That needs to stop with Wenger. So yeah, you know what? For me, Xhaka, if I hand this force, Ramsey and Lacazette.
Interesting, Harry.
This is difficult because I just think, first of all, this whole thing about the transfer budget, I don't believe it, because Arsenal are the most private football club, and I don't see how people know exactly what we've got available to spend. So start off by saying that. Secondly, I think it's really difficult to answer this because you don't know how certain players are going to develop under a new manager. You know, we've seen players like Bellerin sort of go backwards in the last couple of years. And I remember Bellerin, when he first broke into the team, you know, he would beat players and he would get to the byline and he would cut the ball back for someone. And that seems to have gone out of his game. But then there's a chance that someone like Emery coming in could get him doing that again. You get people like Ramsey can go past someone, you know, when he's breaking forward. We've got players that can do it. Even Iwobi, he might beat 3 men and put it over the bar, but he'll still beat them. So that's my thing on the dribbling point. I don't know. It's difficult. I agree with Turkish that we might be forced with the Ramsey thing just because of the contract situation. I wouldn't get rid of Xhaka because I still think there's a player in there somewhere, and I think the right manager can maybe get a bit more out of him. He's a big physical presence. I don't want to lose him. The only one I would say is probably Lacazette, but then I just think it doesn't make sense if you've just spent 50 million on the guy, because I know we could get a decent amount for him, but I don't think we'll recuperate the money we've just spent on him. Not after the season he's had, where he's not been bad, but he's not exactly pulled up any trees.
I mean, we've said that, you know, we've said, and the press have said, and we've read that Emery prefers a 4-2-3-1. Who knows? He might get here and have a look at the list of players and say, well, do you know what? Might be able to put them two up there. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's not a given that he's going to come in and he's going to change it up to a 4-2-3-1. Probably will, but it's not a given. Is he going to have other formations in mind for if the shit hits the fan? You know, like I said, when we go, if we're 1-0 down, 2-0 down with 60 minutes to go, you know, has he got one of them books that the American football coaches have? What am I going to do now?
I would get rid of Ozil if I had to pick one. I
was going to say him as well.
That's my one.
Yeah,
I was going to say that's Ozil because I just don't see. You know, people look. Yes, he's very gifted and he's a great footballer in the right team with the right players around him. We are not seeing the Mesut Ozil that played for Real Madrid. No. Let's get that out there now, right? He was that good at Real Madrid because he had the good players around him. He had the intelligent players around him, but he also had the intelligence to find those players. He just hasn't got it. He hasn't got them here. I don't think the Premier League suits him. I don't think he's physical enough to play in the Premier League. He's too slow on the ball for me sometimes. He gets the ball, he wants to stop and have a little look around, see who's going where. You can do that in La Liga, but you can't do it here. You know, you're gonna get bashed from one side or another. And then when he does get bashed, he lays on the floor and throws his arms up in the air. But as much as I'm probably going to get grief for this, Mesut Ozil would be one of mine to go out. I've got to say, and you know, that's just my opinion.
He needs to have a great World Cup then.
Well, yeah, perhaps. But do you know what, Lee? He probably will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm saying
because of the, because of the players. Now, does Mesut Ozil play better for Germany because he trusts his manager more and he trusts his players that are around him more? Will Emery come in and say to Mesut Ozil, right, I want you to stay here. You know, you're part of my plans. you're part of my big plans. This is how I'm going to want you to play. This is where you're going to be playing. Perhaps Mesut Ozil might get a boost of confidence, or do you know what? I like this bloke. Yeah, I'm going to do it for him. You know, or we've all seen Arsene Wenger put his arm around him all the time and wrap him up in cotton wool, sending him off on holiday, and Mesut Ozil's sick when he's sitting at home watching fucking. Forgot what that program's called now.
I'll be the same pet. That's
no, come to me in a minute. Come to me in a minute. No, I've forgotten. What's that game on ITV where they put the counters in?
Tipping Point.
That's it, Tipping Point. While I'll edit that out. While Mesut Ozil sitting at home watching Tipping Point. So perhaps Emery's going to put the rocket up his arse.
Does he watch Tipping Point then? Do you know that he watches that then?
Oh, yeah. He DMs me all the time.
Not into that really. I think it's just a bit of a silly game if you ask me. But
no, he DMs me about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I call him Meza. Meza.
I like the other one better.
What? Golden Balls?
Nah, well that was all right in its day. Golden Balls. Pointless.
Oh, fuck off. You just had to go at me for watching Tipping Point.
Bit like you, pointless fucking conversation. That was really about Tipping Point. Pointless.
Well, no, that's what he watches, Luke.
Right. Oh, pointless. Bit like...
You said they'll feed the same pet. Why would a German be at home watching feed the same pet?
Because it's German related. That's what I was trying to help you out there, wasn't I?
Yeah, well, how's he going to understand 10 Geordies?
Well, he'd understand the Germans on the site because they were German.
Yeah, well, they're not involved, are they? What's the story going to be about old matey talking about his wife? What?
By the way, great programme.
Was good.
Very, very good.
That one where he put the tinfoil around his face and went sunbathing.
Yeah. Just great characters. Harry and the Turkish, do you remember that, or is that bits before your time?
I was just scratching my head here.
Just a bit.
So watch it on YouTube, lads. I tell you.
Yeah, get yourself the DVDs so the quality.
But anyway.
Yeah, getting back to the
Anyway, sorry about that for people watching and people listening.
Yeah, we do go off track every now and then.
Well, that was your fault for mentioning be the same pet.
Yeah, pointless and Tipping Point. Just saying.
Now, yeah, so Ozil would be one of mine. The other one would probably be.
It's big players, by the way. It's not like squad players. If you ever look at the
Ozil's
question,
a big player, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So don't start going like.
What if you take like 2 squad players though to like try and?
No, that's not the question, Harry, is it? The question.
Do you know what? Now you've said it, and now I've actually sat here and thought about it. It would make sense, Lacazette, wouldn't it?
So that's.
It's just my. I know I'm going to get hammered for saying Ozil, but it's just in my personal opinion. I
think like with Ozil, we putting him out on the left wing. He's not a left winger, is he?
He's not.
If you can get 40, 50 million and get a proper left winger in, it makes sense, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
It does.
That's what we're saying. We're not.
I suppose he's a luxury player, isn't he? To have,
Great player to watch up and down. I love watching him play. He's got skills that most professionals dream about. But we're looking at trying to get back into the top 4, and unfortunately, the last 2 years with him in the team, and I'm not putting it all at his door, but you know what I'm saying. We've not been able to do that. I watch Real Madrid at times and I think, God, they're awful. And then all of a sudden, Ronaldo goes bang, bang, 2-0. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I see Messi do the same. I'm not putting him in that category, but that's what we want from our world superstars. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alexis Sanchez used to do it for us. He used to get us out of jail on many of occasions, and all of a sudden, bang, goal. So, I don't think
it's actually an awful thing to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Letting players go.
Be interested to see what Kevin's got to say about it, because I know he's a big Lacazette fan.
Go ahead, Turkish.
And you know what's sad about it? As you're talking about it now, I do agree with you. Like, we shot ourselves in the foot giving him 350 because that's top player money, whereas I see him as a second, third in line player. But what's sad is he came to us at a time when we didn't have one world-class player in the squad. He came to us at a time when that was make or break for our team that year. And he galvanized all the fans by coming to us. And he actually didn't have to come to us. He could have stayed at Real because Ancelotti, I think, wanted him to battle for his position with Di Maria. But he took a risk and came to us. The previous season, our best players were Walcott and Cazorla. It was a year after we sold Van Persie. And again, in January, yes, he held the club to ransom maybe with the 350, but he signed a 4-year deal. So you must care about the club in some sort of aspect.
Yeah.
If we can get the best out of him, and in the next 2-3 years, if we can improve with him in the squad, it's just about styles, I think. And Germany's style fits him more, especially their counter-attack style. Even that England game, like Ozil tore England apart with his counter-attack. So, yeah, like, I do agree. You have a point in selling him, but if we do keep him, then I wouldn't be too upset about it.
No.
I don't know his market value anymore. And to be honest, how much would people pay for him?
The other, I'd say about 40 million. The other thing, which is a negative point in that, is now we're negotiating other people's contracts. Yeah. They're like someone like a Ramsey is going to say, well, if he's on 350, you know, I want something like 200 at least, two. You know what I mean? And we've now been not held to ransom, but it could mess us up on other negotiations as well. Like, you know, so that's my worry.
The Aubameyang's really Aubameyang should be on a 300k contract, and Ozil should be on 100. But somehow we worked it out that we've managed to get Aubameyang. So let's.
Yeah, so good bit of business.
That's a good point, though, Turkish. You make, you know, I mean, he signed a long-term deal, $350 grand a week. I mean, if he really had any thoughts about leaving,
gone for nothing.
Yeah, he would have gone for nothing, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Craig, if you've won the World Cup, right, and you're a footballer and you've won the World Cup, and you get offered that sort of money, you would sign a long-term contract because
I wouldn't if I wasn't happy, Harry.
Yeah, but so many players would get up and go to America to earn that money, or go to China. And Ozil's got it in the Premier League at the club he's already at in a city he loves.
He would have gone as a free though, Harry, in the summer, and where the transfer deal for the, say, like, you know, 30 million, if he was worth 30 million, the club would say, well, instead of giving Arsenal 30 million, we'll give you 30 million. Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, unhappy footballers don't hang around anymore.
Yeah, it's a good point. It is a good point.
I mean, Sanchez wasn't happy, gone. Van Persie wasn't happy, gone. You know, the list goes on. He's put his pen on the paper, 4-year deal. Perhaps we should be giving him a bit more respect.
Yeah, but to me, that says that poses questions about his desire to still, win, as opposed to his loyalty to the club. It's just a different way of looking at it. That's how I see it.
There's two sides for the coin, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holding the club to ransom, getting 350. He wasn't going to receive that anywhere else, and you can see it as, you know what, he signed. Even though he receives all the stick from Arsenal fans in general, he still wants to stay around. Yeah, there's two sides to the coin.
Yeah, I suppose we should. Suppose we should grasp it, really, if he does want to stay. You know. But if I had to, I'd probably let him go.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right. We have run out of talking time, I'm afraid. But what it is time to do is announce the winners of the little prizes that we put up last week. So if you're watching and you want to know if you've won, give me 10 seconds and I'll tell you.
One second, Craig. One second.
I've got the winners here in front of me. On YouTube, I done a pick a winner in the comments section. You can actually do it on your YouTube channel. You hit the button and away it goes, and it picks you a winner. I put all the people with the right answers.
It's been delivered.
The right answers actually
delivered.
It's been delivered. Lovely.
Yeah.
The right answer. So the question was: there's a shirt behind Lee, and who is that shirt signed by? Lee, the correct answer is?
Mr. Charlie Nicholas.
And the second part of the question was, which player is Craig still not over who left the Arsenal? And we spoke about him tonight, and that is poor old Chesney. Wardock Chesney. I was heartbroken when that man left. Heartbroken. As Turkish said, he's a gooner.
Yep.
He was one of us. So I was absolutely heartbroken. So that's the correct answers.
I was
And I'm very happy to announce that Jamie Klinkett is the winner of the of the Arsenal Power Bank.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so Jamie, well done. And if you're watching,
lucky one of us is professional.
Yes, that's true. You've put me up again.
He's won the Power Bank. Onto the Kevin Campbell.
I might have to do a bit of Ivan Gazidis myself next year. Bring down the banhammer. Yeah, so Jamie, well, congratulations, mate.
Well done, Jamie. Well done.
Arsenal Power Bank. Please get in contact with me, mate, via Twitter or on here. I do believe, actually, that you do follow us on Twitter because I think we've had a few words before. So I will contact you, mate, after this podcast finished. So well done, mate. Congratulations. The winner of the signed Kevin Campbell picture is, and this was picked by Charlie himself. What you had to do was you had to send Charlie a tweet with the hashtag SameOldPod and follow him. And he has picked the winner. The winner is Clive Hiscott. So well done, Clive.
Well done, Clive.
At Blinker 020. That picture will be being signed by Kevin Campbell once he sees Lee again, because you know him and Lee really good mates and all that.
In the celebrity corner.
That's it, yeah, celebrity corner. Lee's going to get that signed by Kevin, and we'll get it. We'll get your address on that, mate, and we'll send it over. So well done to the winners. Nice couple of prizes there. Okay, well, this is the final podcast for the season. We're going to have the summer off. No doubt Lee's going to go to Dubai or some other country where you have to be loaded to go to. All these endorsements and sponsorships he's got now.
I've got a weekend in Hopton, which is in...
what part of Dubai is that in?
That's in Norfolk.
Oh, it's in Norfolk.
Yeah, there you go. Like. And then I'm off to New York.
That must be a free, is it? Is that free?
No, I've had to pay that. $10.99 from the Sun. You know what I mean? So, so I've got that coming. And then I'm off to New York and the Bahamas. So
here we go. I didn't even know that.
Very nice, very nice. So
I didn't even know that.
Craig, what happens if all the ITKs were right and then it's Allegri and Emery doesn't get announced?
We'll have to do another podcast. We'll have to do another one. I'm pretty sure it is, though. The Ornstein has spoken. The Oracle spoke.
Yeah, that's it. So
if he
done and dusted, isn't it?
Done and dusted. If he said it, he's done it. Harry, what are you doing for the summer, mate?
Just enjoying the World Cup, really.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's been a long season. Sort of work's been really busy as well, so I'm looking forward to kicking back. Going to book myself a holiday for 2 weeks. Not sure where I'm going to go. Probably end up going back to Cyprus. It's just convenient.
I like Cyprus. I like Cyprus.
Yeah, very nice.
Favourite part of Cyprus.
Very nice.
That's the plan. Hopefully catch the last 2 weeks of the World Cup out there in the sun.
Bit of Iron Napa.
I'm a bit past that, man. I'm over that now. I was going from 12 years of age, so it's gone for me now. It's done.
Yeah. So I guess you got your own YouTube channel as well, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, just started it to be. I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but
well, I've been watching it. I think it's quite good. I think you do know what you're doing.
Yeah, people seem to like it so far.
Yeah. Everyone watching, go over and subscribe to Turkish channel, please.
We've got to find out what he's doing this summer.
I was just about to ask him.
I was just saying, like, I mean, sorry, mate.
Do you want to ask him? You ask him. No. You ask him.
What's the plans for the summer, Turkish?
I'm a best man at my friend's wedding, so I got a stag to plan. We're going to Barcelona in July, so that's a messy one.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's the main thing, really. Other than that, yeah, just working on this channel a bit more.
Good for you, mate. Keep it up. And who's coming to Dublin? Apparently, the Arsenal are playing in Dublin.
Oh yeah,
in August.
Well, it's not been confirmed yet, is it?
It's not been confirmed, but it's in the fixture list, I've been told.
Well, we know a nice hotel.
Someone sent me a screenshot of it saying fixture to be announced. So
if it does happen, I'll fly into Cork,
and we'll travel up together.
That'll
be good. That'll be good.
I'll be there as well then.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be all right. Yeah.
Harry,
gonna come to Dublin, mate, for an old job.
Oh, might as well. Might as well.
Right there, mate. $14.99 return. Lovely job.
That's it.
They've got to have a drop of Guinness. I don't like Guinness, but apparently you've got to have a drop.
Oh, you got to have Guinness over here, mate. It's like drinking.
To be honest, gents, I'm quarter Irish as well, from Dublin. So
there you go. See,
well, we'll be all right with you then.
You can look after us.
Is it bad to admit that I put a bit of blackcurrant in my Guinness? Should I not be?
Yes, it is.
I
I suppose you put it in a woman's glass as well, do you?
Yeah, and I put a little umbrella in it as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Goes and ruins it, eh?
That's it. I don't know.
Can you put lemonade in it?
No, you can't put lemonade in it.
Guinness shandy. You can't have a Guinness shandy, no?
Well, you could. You can. There is people that drink it, but
see.
not in my circle.
No,
know what I mean?
no, just a silly.
I might be an Englishman in Ireland, but I've got standards to upkeep, Lee.
Tipping point, that is, isn't it? Tipping point.
That's it. That's it. The last thing I want to say is thank you very much for your support all through the season, listening to us mad bastards talking about Arsenal Football Club. I'm glad so many of you think that you feel that you'd like to come and listen to us, and you know the iTunes, the audio podcast is going really well. We're nearly getting more downloads on the audio podcast than we are views on YouTube. So I mean, that says a lot. But we are
grateful, aren't we, Craig?
We're very grateful. Yeah. And what I was just about to say is, I'm not surprised that we get more listens than views, because we are a couple of ugly bastards. So you know, I suppose it's
got sexy voices though.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Apparently so. We've been told a couple of times.
We've got voices for radio and late night radio.
That's it. Voices for radio.
Yeah.
So, lads, me and Lee wish you a great summer.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Stay safe. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your barbecues. This, that, and the other. We shall return probably. Let's see. Obviously, there's a transfer window in there. We might do something when the transfer window closes. Oh no, because we won't be doing that, will we? Because it closes during the fucking first 2 weeks, isn't it? Oh no, this year isn't it this year it closes before the season starts?
Yeah, I think it does, Craig. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So we might do something. I think it closes before the season starts.
I know it's open.
Is it the 9th of August it closes or something, and then the season starts on the 11th? I'm not 100% sure.
I know
the window's open right now, isn't it?
What's that? Sorry.
Is the window open right now?
Window's open.
It's open
yesterday. No, tomorrow.
It opens on the 1st of June, doesn't it? So I think our one's early because of the fact that ours finishes early. I'm not sure, you know.
No,
I'll have to look that up. I'm pretty sure it closes before the season starts this year.
Yeah.
Apologies for this ray of light coming down the middle of the screen. That's the footballing God shining down on me. Look. So yeah, you never know if Lee does keep his promise and he does come over to Ireland, we might do some live vlogs.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be a good laugh. So thank you very much. Enjoy your summers. All the best. Up the Arsenal.
Right, you gooners.